You'd be hard-pressed to find someone who so consistently has shown more devotion to the nation's missing and exploited children than the next witness to be introduced. My friendship with Ernie Allen goes back many years to his time in Louisville. He has always shown a selfless dedication to serving our community as our city's Director of Health and Public Safety, Director of our County Crime Commission, and now as Founder, President, and CEO of the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. He serves all our communities today, having helped recover well over 100,000 missing children, increasing the recovery rate from 62% in 1990 to 96% today. Not despite, but because of his success, Ernie knows as well as anyone the vast challenges still ahead of us. And so, Mr. Chairman, Madam Chair, they didn't know what they were writing this. Madam Chair, it's my honor to introduce a true humanitarian and an example for all of us, my friend Ernie Allen.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, particularly want to express my gratitude to my friend Congressman Yarmouth and to the great leadership of the Congressional Caucus on Missing and Exploited Children, Chairman Lamson and co-chaired Congresswoman Biggert. I want to report to the committee that the progress in the search for America's missing children is extraordinary. More missing children come home safely today in this country than at any time in the nation's history. And that's because the leadership of Congress and the leadership of law enforcement, we've been able to build a national network. Today, images and information are transmitted instantly across the nation. There are 50 state missing children clearinghouses. Because of the Amber Alert and the leadership of great nonprofit organizations like the Texas Center for the Missing, we're mobilizing the eyes and ears of the public. Law enforcement is better prepared. There's more technology, more resources. The good news is it's working. The bad news, as you all know, is that 2,000 children will be reported by their parents to the police as missing today, somewhere in the United States. And the bad news is, despite all our progress, and despite a recovery rate in the upper 90s, thousands of children each year still don't make it home. Our national center, which is now 23 years old, at your mandate, operates a national missing children's hotline. We're currently handling about 300 calls a day. We've handled 2.2 million over our history, and let me say the long partnership with the runaway and homeless youth community is extraordinarily important because, for example, we link with the National Runaway Switchboard. When the kid calls our hotline, we pass them immediately to the National Runaway Switchboard, and when the parent or a member of the public calls the National Runaway Switchboard, they send it to us. It's that kind of cooperation that I think is essential in this issue. We are focusing aggressively on issues like the long-term missing. There's still thousands of children who have not been identified, many of whom are deceased and whose remains have not been identified, bringing closure for these families. We're working with the FBI and others to provide direct on-scene response, technical experts to help law enforcement who may waste valuable time because they don't know what to do. So there's enormous progress. An area of perhaps greater challenge is the area of child sexual exploitation. And let me just say a few words about that. This is an issue that has exploded with the advent of the Internet. In 1998, the Congress asked our center to establish what it called the 911 for the Internet, a cyber tip line. Last week, we handled our 500,000th report. And these reports are of online enticement of children, child pornography, child sex tourism, a range of child sexual exploitation offenses. The good news is that these reports have led to thousands of arrests and successful prosecutions. The bad news is that this problem has proliferated. For example, child pornography has become a multi-billion-dollar commercial industry, and the victims are getting younger and younger. Our staff has reviewed 8 million images and videos in an attempt to identify the children. And what we have learned is that of the offenders who have been identified, 39% have had images of children younger than 6 years old. 19% have had images of children younger than 3 years old. This is an enormous challenge. Law enforcement is doing more today than ever before. The FBI, ICE, and other agencies are gearing up. The Internet Crimes Against Children task forces around the country are doing extraordinary work, but law enforcement is under-resourced, undermanned, and is tackling a problem that is far greater than any of us ever thought. The last thing I would want to point out is that a couple of years ago in the PROTECT Act, the Congress asked for us to take on a pilot project to do background screening for youth-serving organizations. We have done that, and we have found that even though these applicants are being fingerprinted and know they're being subject to national criminal history background checks, fully 3% of the applicants have had criminal histories, many of them serious criminal histories involving crimes against children. Background screening needs to be continued. This needs to be a national effort for youth-serving organizations that is fast, accurate, fingerprint-based, and either free or as close to free as we can get it. Thank you, Madam Chair.